Trevor Loudon is the author of Barack Obama and the Enemies Within. Here's a guy who has spent his own money. He's from New Zealand. He's just a dad. And spent his own money to try to document what was going on. And he started when Obama first started running. And Trevor, I think when you started, there wasn't anyone that was looking into any of this. Am I wrong?
Well, that's right. I discovered his ties to Frank Marshall Davis, the Hawaiian communist. And because I was a student of the left and had been studying the communist and socialist networks for many years, I knew where to look. So immediately Obama was flagged to me, I started to delve into his background, and the connections to the Marxists and socialists and Communist Party members in Chicago is overwhelming. Yeah.
I've been following your stuff for a long time, and it's overwhelming. I get lost. I know this stuff, I mean, somewhat, and I get lost. It's difficult, but you now put it in this book, and we'll talk about it here a little bit. Trevor.
Yeah, I think they would have faded away through the winter anyway. A lot of them would go home.
But really regroup and get stronger.
They will come back big time in the spring and right through next summer, and they will create merry hell in every city in America that they can get away with. I think they will probably do things like attack the Republican Party convention next year in Tampa. I think there will be a lot of aggression. They will come back big time, and they will try and use election year to focus a lot of attention on what they want.
What is it that you think they want?
Well, there's several elements to it. You know, there's an anarchist element in there that just wants to destroy things. They want to bring capitalism crashing down. But there's also an organised Marxist socialist element in there that wants to discipline the movement and take control of it, to sort of use them as troops for Obama on the ground, you know, to intimidate the Tea Party, to intimidate the GOP, to take attention off Obama in election year but get what he wants done. So there's a conflict there between the crazy anarchists, like you saw in Oakland the other week, and the more disciplined Communist Party members and Democratic Socialist of America types who are trying to control the movement and direct it in a more organised fashion.
As the global economic climate goes south, it goes south hard, and these guys rise. You're on the other side of the planet. You're in New Zealand. They there?
Yeah, we've got Occupy, not in my city because the centre of the city has been demolished by the earthquakes, but in Wellington, Auckland and Dunedin there's Occupy movements, and in Australia. So they're basically working together all over the globe, and as you say, as economies go down and there's more unemployment and more discontent, they want to fan the movement into revolution wherever they can all over the world. So you're quite right, this is not just an American phenomenon.
Your book is, I mean, it's amazing. It is amazing, and it's all footnoted.
Yep, look, I very seldom get challenged on points of fact.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's Barack Obama and the Enemies Within. How much is he in on this, do you think?
Well, he's openly encouraged the movement. The point is, Barack Obama didn't make a movement made Barack Obama. It was the unions and Democratic Socialists of America and Communist Party USA who got him elected, and they are the same people now who are trying to take over and control the Occupy movement. So it's exactly they're exactly the same people working in Occupy that got Obama elected. So there's got to be coordination there. He's going to use this movement. The left has been talking about this for a year.
Is the movement using him, or is he using the movement?
Well, I think, yeah, you're probably quite right, actually. He is just really part of a much bigger movement, a progressive movement. And the left has been talking about this for 2 years now. They wanted an uprising from the streets to pressure Obama and give Obama an excuse for taking more socialist measures. And they model this on FDR in the 1930s. A group of radicals went to FDR and said, we want these social programs, we want this, we want that. And FDR said, yes, I agree with you, but you have to go out and make me do it. and the left openly uses this now. They're basically, Obama has sent the signal out there, these people have to rise up to give him the excuse to do what he wants to do anyway.
Are you still in town tomorrow?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, we'll have to bring you over to the radio show, Trevor, because I have to show you something. When you say that happened with FDR, I have one of the original 12 leather-bound books that were made for the people in that room at the time. Only 12 of them, only 2 known to be still in existence. I have one, and the National Archives has the other. And it is all handwritten with all hand-colored charts and graphs, and I can't remember, it's radicalism or revolution or something like that. And it's saying to the president, you better do this or you're going to have a revolution in the street.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an amazing document.
And that's exactly right, Glenn. And the left, including Bill Ayers and Bernardine Dawn and people like this, have been talking about this for the last 2 years in their publications. So building this movement.
You have to have documented this in your book. And by the way, where can you get the book? Because it's not available at Amazon.com.
Well, no, it is available through Amazon.
Oh, is
but
it?
It is. But we're selling it online through the Pacific Freedom Foundation.
Okay.
So just go to Pacific Freedom Foundation and you can buy the book online.
There it is. Okay, so you have to have documented the protectors, if you will, in here. The things like the National Organization of Women. How involved are they in these women's organizations? Because they're going to go to the rape situation here with Ami in a second. How involved are these groups in things like this? Do you know?
Yeah, well, the NOW is backing the occupations, also the nurses' unions and other women's groups.
How do they get people just to turn a blind eye?
Well, this is a movement, and the movement is far more important than any individual girl who might be brutalised.
Jeez.
You know, that's just the way they think. We're going about the Penn State scandals, but the Occupy movement is covering up rapes and sexual crimes all the time as a matter of course.
Trevor Loudon is a guy that I've told you about for a while. He is just a guy from New Zealand. He's a dad who was concerned about the world and said, hey, you know, we should look into this whole Barack Obama thing. I don't think something's not right. I had him on television last night. He has written a new book, Barack Obama and the Enemies Within. And it is available now, you know, wherever books are sold, but you can get a copy from the Pacific Freedom Foundation as well. Pacific Freedom Foundation. Is it .org or .com, Trevor?
Yeah, it's .org, Glenn.
.org, okay. Thank you for being on, and thank you for all of the hard work that you've done trying to track down the socialist, Marxist, communists, and revolutionaries that are surrounding this president. If you were to pick up your book, what is it that you are going to learn that most people just don't know?
Well, I think the main point is Glenn, that there are people around Barack Obama who do not owe their allegiance to the United States of America. You know, he has worked with people like Alice Palmer, who had long-term connections with major Soviet fronts, KGB-controlled organizations, and that went on for several years. And it was Alice Palmer that first introduced Obama to Illinois politics and took him to that famous meeting with Bill Ayers and Bernardine Dawn, for instance. But there are other connections. The Soviet paid propagandist who mentored David Axelrod, for instance. The connections between Valerie Jarrett's father-in-law and the communist Frank Marshall Davis in Chicago in the 1940s.
And frightening connection.
You know, I trace these things right back, and they're all very well documented.
Right. This book has all been footnoted. So I mean, you know, you can say what you want about Trevor or whatever, but just talk about the facts. Talk about the facts. Disprove the facts in this book. When you look at things like, and this is really going deep, but when you look at the connections of Valerie Jarrett and Frank Marshall Davis, and you see this all come together, I mean, there are times that I have looked at Barack Obama and said, look, I don't believe in the birth certificate conspiracy. I don't believe in this. But there are times that you look at it and you're like, man, this is he wasn't groomed to be the president, but he is damn near the Manchurian Candidate, where all these people around him have been trying this forever, and they see this opportunity, and he sees an opportunity. He's like, holy cow, I could be president. And he becomes president of the United States, and he is totally undercover.
Yeah, well, I think you're quite right, Glenn. It's, Barack Obama did not make a movement. A movement made Barack Obama. He was groomed from quite an early age and promoted by the Communist Party USA and by Democratic Socialists of America and a whole lot of other Marxists that he was associated with in
But
Hawaii,
you're not. Are you?
Occidental, and Chicago.
You're not claiming that they were grooming him for president. They were just grooming him to be another foot soldier and keep rising as high as you can rise. I mean, he was, in an early age, he was not impressive, but they found themselves with a candidate who could actually cut through, and they just went for it.
Yeah, I think that's right, Glenn. Look, the left has always done this. They pick out promising young people. They groom them up, they give them labour union support, they give them training, they get them elected into minor positions in the Democratic Party, state senator or whatever, and then they promote them as far as their ability will take them into positions of authority. And Barack Obama is another example of this, but he's the crowning glory. I can't say they chose him out for president at an early age, but he was certainly picked for higher office at an early age. And he may have even surprised his closest supporters at just how far he's risen.
I will tell you that, and I'm only saying this because I don't know. Trevor and I don't sit around and we don't talk philosophy or anything else. So I don't know politically where Trevor is, et cetera, et cetera. But I know a lot of the stuff that he has done in the past is spot on. And this book is deeper than this is not. This is not for somebody who's like, gee, wait a minute. I wonder if the unions might be connected. Yeah, no. This is for you really want to see, you really want to tear back the mask, and you really want to go deep on how deep the scary connections are. This is the book for you. Barack Obama and the Enemies Within. What is the thing that you found, Trevor, that you were shocked by?
Look, I always knew that Obama was connected to the Marxists and socialists in Chicago. But what has shocked me most is that several of the key Marxists around Obama have connections, quite extensive connections to the old Soviet bloc, to the Cubans, etc. And I think there is some element of offshore guidance in all this. And the other thing I think is, we used to think people like Van Jones he was just a radical plucked out of San Francisco.
Right.
That Leon Panetta was just another guy plucked out of Santa Cruz. But you'll find that all of these people are part of the same group in the same circles. Like Van Jones was part of the same circle of Marxists in San Francisco that Obama was in Chicago. So really it's a little bit of a Marxist mafia operating here, and they're promoting each other, building each other into positions of authority.
Trevor,
the connections are very obvious.
Trevor, I thank you very much for your research. The name of the book, Barack Obama and the Enemies Within. You can buy it at Amazon, or you can go to PacificFreedomFoundation.org and pick up a copy now. Check the footnotes yourself.